channel. Glad you're here. Today we're covering the top 10 wish list. This is why I want in FM25. We already know they're not doing anything more in FM24, so this is my top 10 wish list of things they will fix or improve or bring ahead for FM25 console. Without further ado, let's get cracking. Roll the credits. One of my biggest bugbears in FM24 console 23, every console version. Why can't you have pre-match team talks? You want them to be like Braveheart. You want to find a Nigerian wonder kid baying at the blood against your rivals. You can do it in PC. You can do halftime. You can do full time. You can't do pre-match. I don't get it. Why can't you do pre-match team talks? First thing I have to do is demand more. Fire up as soon as the first shout, 10 seconds into the match, for God's sake. One of the biggest issues I think with console is a lack of detail. Now, it has been streamlined for the PS5 and Xbox users. I get that. I appreciate it. Not got an issue with that, SI. But when you make leagues completely unplayable, such as the MLS, because there are no registration rules, you completely change how to play that game. You can't play the MLS with draft modes or designated players or restriction on fee on salaries, sorry, because it's not there. There's not enough rules. The same when it comes to the 25-man squad in the Premier League. You haven't got a 25-man squad registration. You don't have to worry about, oh, I've bought 30 players this season. I've still got another 20. Chelsea love console for this reason. You can have as many players as you want as Chelsea, but there's no restrictions on player registration. And I think that, from a realism point of view, so badly needed in console because it does take you out of the immersion. You have to actually put your own rules in place. It's the ability to add or remove leagues. Now, you can do this in PC, but you can't do it in console. I know there's a 30 years or 30 season limit on console, but say you've got to a point, right? You've only loaded 4 leagues, and you weren't expecting yourself to enjoy this team. You weren't expecting it to be so good, but you don't want to leave it where you are now. You want to go off and you want to, go to France, but you've only loaded the English leagues, for example. You're in Denmark and you've a quick save in Nordirland has turned into a 10-year save. I'd like to move on now. I'd like to go and see what else I can do. But you can't because there's no option. I think having that little bit of a tweak, maybe, I don't know how possible it is. I don't think if it was something they could do easily, I think it'd already be there. The fact they don't, I don't know. This is a big one now for communities, logo packs. When you look at the community on console players demand logo packs for immersion. Me personally, I don't look at them. I'm never that bothered. I couldn't tell you what half the players looked like if I was doing a save in South America. I wouldn't be able to pick that player out. That doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all. But it's a problem. It is a problem on PS5. It is a problem on Xbox. The reason being is that SI cannot allow the save data to be manipulated or get access to basically the PlayStation and Xbox. That's the compatibility. That's all the issues I've got there. There is that thing, mind. When you play I don't know if you played Minecraft. My kid plays Minecraft. You can buy mods for Minecraft. So whether or not all DLCs, I'll be honest with you, I'm not too keen on bringing in DLC mods for logo packs, but I do know it's a big thing for some people. I'd love to hear your opinion on that. What logo packs would you like? Would you like the Premier League, or would you like the World Cup, the Nations League? Do you want them to expand further into UEFA, CONMEBOL? Let me know below. The user interface. Now, there's a big change coming with FM25. We know that. We know the interface will be changing. With Unity Engine coming in, it's going to be a massive change. We've gone 20 years in the same type of format. They do have, to be fair, they have changed that user interface quite a bit over the years, but it is still clunky. It isn't user friendly. It takes a lot of time for people to learn how that goes. And it's just hard sometimes to explain to someone this is how you play Football Manager. It's not a pick up and go system. You've got to sit there, you got to learn, you got to read, you got to analyze. But me personally, on this particular area, I will say one thing. I would like the ability to customize the interface. Now, I'm not saying give me all the mod packs. I mean, we've covered that in this video. What I'm saying is, please let me change the color of the attributes. Please let me decide what, like you can. The reason for this is because of my eyes. And it's not because I'm blind. It's just the visual aid of going, you know what? There's a lot of red there. He's not ready yet. Oh, he's actually amber. There's a lot of ambers there. I like that. Oh, look, okay. Now, look, I know it does have the yellow boxes if it goes over a certain level in the user interface. That's not enough. I mean, it's quick hits. The numbers are all boxed together. When you're in the lower leagues, being able to set what that limit is would help me better. In the lower leagues, I'm lowering my expectations. I'm not expecting attributes of that high. I want lower to say this is a good player at this league. So when I'm quickly looking through my squad, or I'm quickly looking through opposition or even scout reports, I go, oh yeah, yeah, that's what I want. That's better than what I've already got. Maybe you're like me and you're looking at it going, this is what my comparison, my squad comparison, for example. You go on a squad comparison screen like this, and it tells you here, you got a 6, a 7, a 9 point average. Well, if you could change those colors to be, okay, anything over 10, that's an improvement in this area. So you can then see, your squad slowly improving. It would help the understanding of new players, I would say, if they knew how to do it, and obviously if it was well explained. But personally, me, please let me change the attribute colors. Game setup, hashtag customizable databases. This is one of the biggest questions I get asked by people. What is the best way to set up a save? Right now on PC, it is far more detailed, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just a better way of customizing your database. You can say, I want all the players in Europe in this. I mean, that's massive. That's like nearly 150, 200,000 players. But you can say, I want every single player in that continent available in my database. It's ludicrous. I mean, you can only choose 20 players in a matchday squad. You don't need 120, but you have a maximum of 50,000 players in console, and the leagues you decide on determine what your database is. So, for example, if you chose England, Spain, Italy, France, Germany, Argentina, Brazil, what was the other ones I chose? Poland, not Poland, Holland, Portugal, and Belgium, for example, right? That would give you about 40,000 players. And then the majority of them is clustered in the leagues you chose. And as you can imagine, about 12,000 players at a push, I'd say that's a huge 3,000 players. We've got the database figures coming up. All those are the other players. So again, it'd be nice to be able to go, you know what? Yeah, I'm happy with 50,000, but I know this is going to be a long-term save. I would like the option of having maybe 100,000 players, and then that would be your main save file. And then you'd grow your saves off that, which a lot of people do. One of the biggest issues I have with console isn't necessarily the game. It's the immersion. It's the detail. When you have a non-league save, one of the biggest bugbears I do get when you're doing lower league management is that you're hoping that the players at the top may want to join you at some point. But because we don't have the structure in place for reserves and under 18s, you have less of a player pool that are going to be released, and therefore you're going to pick up probably the same players. A lot of people pick up the same players because they get released. In the PC version, you get first team, reserve, and under 18s. Now, in the Premier League, I'm not going to lie, if an under 18 has been released, he is probably, and this is how I do it on the measure of the tail, is he's probably going to be Vanarama, National, South and North, possibly National League, and he's going to be starters around there, but he's unlikely to get more than a regular backup on League Two. But the problem you've got there is when you start getting the regens coming through every year, the player pool does sort of get mixed up a little bit, and I'm not too happy with it. I really do want reserves and under 18s. I think this comes down to again player registration. And I think it's that depth. If you could say, look at, okay, I tell you what, here's an example. Liverpool have got a crop of youngsters who aren't in the console version. Okay, it'd be really exciting to play with some of them, but they're not all there. And because they're missing, it does feel like a little bit of lack of depth. Obviously, SI could not have predicted all those players would come through at Liverpool at this season. They'll be there next year. Guarantee you, FM25, those players will be there because they've played for Liverpool. But in console, in comparison to PC, you do miss that little bit of detail going, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we had him? Wouldn't it be nice if you had him in the lower leagues? You just don't get it. You really don't get it. And yeah, that's why I think we need to have the reserves and the under 18s back into console to have a bit more player depth, a bit more player detail, and give you a bit more on your lower league management saves. Because I think it'd be great for the immersion. It make it harder to pick players, a bit more competitive because people are trying to fill out their squads across all levels. Yeah, I would quite happily say this now. Please give us reserve and under 18s. You've already got Bs and Cs in the Spanish leagues. Give us our bloody reserves and under 18s back. Data Hub. I don't know about you, but the Data Hub is a bit too restricted. It needs to be a bit more modular. I know this is an issue, for example, with PC in the past, where you can't actually ask Data Hub to give you the actual information. It's really tricky. You can't get what you want out of it. There's going to be videos coming up soon to show you how to actually get that data out of Data Hub and show you either via player search or in your actual team. I've got those videos. I'm going to show you one of the two of these views now so you can see them. Here they are now. XG or expected assists, or we could do aerial aggression. We can get that information out to console. It's not hidden. It is in the player searches and the customizable views you can do on your squads. It's there. The problem is Data Hub doesn't let you tell it, please give me this information. Please just do this filter. Please give me this information. So we have to do it on squad view, or we have to do it on player search. The simple thing is you can do a view that will precisely break down what your wing back's creativity is. But if you were looking then to say, okay, look, I can't afford Trent Alexander-Arnold, I can't afford Kieran Trippier, I can't afford Reece James, but I want a player to give me similar type of stats. Well, you could do that. You could compare Trippier, Arnold, and James to your wing back. That's That's possible. It isn't possible in Data Hub. You have to create a player search like this to compare them. And to be honest, all we want is a game to progress. And if they're on, maybe that's been the limitations of the software in the past. Maybe now we can get modular Data Hub, modular comparison, modular stats. International saves. Now this, I know this has been the bugbear. If you've played Football Manager, how many years do you reckon? If you played Football Manager as long as I have, I mean, 20 odd years, Football Manager international saves. Oh, God. There needs a complete and utter rebuild. We all know that. Big content creators have said this for years. The international save process is broke. They have got better on PC, and it is a little bit better on console. But if you want full immersion, you should be able to have a World Cup camp, a Copa America camp. There should be camps in place so that when you take over that team, you take them to the World Cup, you can do your training, you can do your practice matches, you can get your players ready for World Cup. You should be pushing them into it. It shouldn't be, it'd be nice if we could just pick the squad. Da, 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 da. That's great. I love it. I do love it. And we are going to be doing some save ideas on Copa America, the Euros, World Cup. We've just had AFCON in the winter, so we're going to do AFCON save ideas for FM24 as well. We're going to build an entire save idea portfolio based on those three competitions. But, and I mean this in all the genuine niceties, women's football is the international scene. I know it is improving. I mean, the club competitions in the women's football is getting better, right? No denying that. It's going to be great to be able to have the option of playing in managing a women's league, potentially crossing over and taking over an English team. Brilliant idea. Brilliant, brilliant save ideas coming that way. But you have to fix the international side of it for women's football because it is so big in the women's game. It is so big. I'm really interested in how it's going to work out. But I swear to God, if they don't fix the internationals, it's going to be unplayable. Asked SI for this in the community forum links. I want a trophy room. I do not care how you give it to me. I want to be able to turn around when I go into my manager profile and I want to see it and go, look at this. Look at all the medals you've won. You won this as Armenia Bielefeld, for example, or you won the Premier League with Luton Town, or you got Wrexham all the way up from League Two now, obviously, but another team, Dover Athletic. You rebuilt Dover and you've taken them to the Premier League and you've won the Champions League. I'm not asking for things that used to be in FIFA Manager, like buying your own car, buying your own house. Don't care about that. Don't care. I know there's a lot of people who would like that for immersions. Me, I'm on the side of I don't mind. You don't have to have that. But show me what I've won in the game. Give me, like you see those Barcelona retirement pictures where they sat there with all their trophies. Give me that. Give me the Real Madrid ones. Thanks for watching the video today. Hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, drop us a comment. Tell us, what do you want to see?